And it would appear we're live. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Story Time. Is it getting this audio? I think so. Let me make sure it's on the correct audio source. It's on default, which is probably the USB audio codec, but I want to be sure. There we are. Yes, I've got a cat here. Hello, this is Riley. Say hello to Riley. Hey, good girl. Riley girl. Say hello to the camera. Look over here. Good girl. Yeah, there we go. Meow, meow, meow. There she is. All right, good girl. That's Riley, in case you've never met her before. Anyway, love you, sweetie. We are doing Story Time, a very, very late edition of Story Time. In fact, well, I guess it's only 1 a.m. That's not so bad. I've done worse. Trust me, I've done much worse. And it could be later, that's for certain. But anyway, 1 a.m. is still pretty late, so welcome to the Midnight Society, a late night version of Story Time. Okay, taken care of. Not going to worry about the candles tonight, just because... All right, girl, I'll see you in a little bit. Goosebumps is a little difficult in the candlelight. Until I get more candles I can light and have more light from them, I'm going to leave the candles for one of the stories I read from the computer screen, specifically Dracula. In the meantime, shall we get some spooky music started? I think we shall. So, here's the deal. Go ahead, and if you haven't already, join the Facebook group Storytime. And if you haven't already, like this video on YouTube and subscribe to my channel, BeepCorny1. And if you haven't already, follow me on Brett Doesn't Game, all one word, on Twitch. And if you haven't already, make sure you comment on this video, or else. Waiting for a scary noise. There it is. Or else. Be scared. Spooky. Anyway, if you comment on this video, you will get a shout out. How special and wonderful is that? Who doesn't want a shout out? Anyway, yes, do that, please. I would be grateful, forever grateful, in your debt, if you would. And before we do get started, a quick reminder to say no to peer pressure, just as I did. Say no to peer pressure, all right? But seriously, pressuring you right now to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. Ooh, that's spooky. You know, I wonder if there's a... I'm going to look up spooky background music instead of that one. That's not really... that is kind of spooky. Spooky background music. And I wonder if I can find ominous background music. Alright, there's a spooky one. There's one that says 3 hours of scary, ominous, and creepy horror music. Ooh, I wonder what that's like. Seems nice. Oh, let's keep it going. You will not say no to my pressure? Oh, Keith, why not? Well, I guess it's all right. If you like and subscribe and all that, then I guess I can forgive you. Thanks for the comment, Keithy O'Eefy. Huzzah! Thank you for being here. Anyway, shall we get started with Goosebumps? I think we shall. Chapter 10. The game felt weird from the beginning. That's right, we're coming in on a basketball game. The Jefferson team was mostly 6th graders, and they were pretty small, but they were well coached. They really seemed to know where they were going, and they had a lot of energy and team spirit. Ooh, sorry, I just bumped the mic, probably made a loud, scary noise. As I came trotting to the center of the gym for the opening tip-off, my stomach was fluttery, and I felt as if I weighed 1,000 pounds. I was really dreading this game. I knew I was going to mess up, and I knew that Judith and Anna would be sure to let me know just how badly I messed up. And how I let the team down. Indeed, Keith, huzzah! So I was really shaky as the game started, and when in the opening tip-off the ball was slapped right to me, I grabbed it and started dribbling toward the wrong basket. Oh, you klutz and you dum-dum. Wrong basket. Luckily, Anna grabbed me and turned me around before I could shoot a basket for Jefferson, but I could hear players on both teams laughing. And I glanced at the sidelines and saw that both coaches, Ellen and the Jefferson coach, were laughing too. Assholes. Well, I'd probably laugh too. I could feel my face turn peat red. I wanted to quit right then and go sink into a hole in the ground and never come out. But, to my amazement, I still had the ball. And that does remind me, dear readers, /listeners, /viewers, I once was on a soccer team when I was very, very little. One of those intramural kinds, you know, when you're very little. And it was one of my teammates' birthdays. And she was so excited when she managed to dribble the ball all the way down the field. And I mean all the way down the field. And score in our own goal. None of us had the heart to tell her. All the parents, while she was running down the field, were yelling, "Wrong way, wrong way!" But she didn't hear them. All she could hear were the cheers in her own imagination and the applause and her own thoughts going, "I'm finally going to score." And then she did. She scored, but on her own team, my team, our team. Don't remember if we won or lost that game. Probably lost. We lost a lot of games. We were absolutely terrible. Anyway, moving forward. I tried to pass it to Judith, but I threw it too low, and a Jefferson girl stole it and started dribbling to our basket. The game was 10 seconds old, and I'd already made 2 mistakes. I kept telling myself it was just a game, but it really didn't help. Every time I heard someone laugh, I knew they were laughing at me at how I'd started the game by running in the wrong direction. Oh, Keith, these aren't just any pajamas. Well, I'm half wearing pajamas. My upper part here are silk pajamas. The lower half of me is wearing black jeans. So, odd mix, I know, but, you know, there it is. But these are so damn comfy. All right. When I looked up at the score for the first time, it was 6-0 Jefferson. The ball suddenly came sailing to me, seemingly out of nowhere. I grabbed for it, but it slipped out of my hands. One of my teammates took it, dribbled, and passed it back to me. I took my first shot. It hit the backboard. A triumph for me, but didn't come near the basket. Jefferson took the rebound. A few seconds later, it was 8-0. I'm playing worse than ever, I moaned to myself. I could see Judith glaring angrily at me from across the floor. I backed up, staying in the corner, away from the basket. I decided to try and keep out of the action as much as possible. Maybe that way I wouldn't embarrass myself quite so much. After about 5 minutes into the first quarter, things started to get weird. The score was 12-2, Jefferson. Try a kilt. You know, I should. That comment gets a huzzah! And hello, Mum, I'm glad to see you have joined. Good morning to you as well. Yes, I'm going to try changing the music real quick. That's not bad, but, you know. Yes, this seems a little more fitting to me. Anyway, back to it. That may change. We'll see. Where was I? Oh, yes, that's when things started to get weird. The score was 12-2, Jefferson. Judith threw the ball in bounds. She meant to throw it to Anna, but Judith's toss was weak, and the ball bounced to a short, blonde-haired Jefferson player. I saw Judith yawn as she ran after the girl. A few seconds later, the ball was loose, bouncing near the center of the court. Anna made a weak grab for it, but she seemed to be moving in slow motion, and the blonde Jefferson player snatched it from her hands. Oh my. It's almost as if she's a terrible basketball player. Anna stood watching her, breathing hard, perspiration running down her forehead. I had to stop and stare. Anna looked exhausted, and we'd only been playing 5 minutes. Wow, you're out of shape, Anna. The Jefferson team dribbled all the way across the floor, passing the ball from girl to girl as our players stood and watched. "Let's go, Mustangs," Judith cried, trying to rouse everyone, but I saw her yawn again as she walked to the sidelines to throw in the ball. "Come on, girls, hustle, hustle," Ellen was shouting from the sidelines, her hands cupped around her mouth. "Run, Judith, don't walk. Let's look alive." Judith sent another feeble throw onto the floor. It bounced away from a Jefferson player. I scooped it up and started to dribble it, running full speed. Just outside the key, I stopped, turned, and looked for someone to pass it to. But to my surprise, my teammates were still far behind me, walking slowly, exhaustedly in my direction. As the Jefferson players swarmed around me, trying to take the ball away, I took a shot. It hit the rim of the basket and bounced right back into my hands, so I took another shot and missed again. Judith raised her hands slowly to catch the rebound, but the ball bounced right through her hands. She frowned in surprise, but didn't make a move to go after it. I grabbed the ball, dribbled twice, nearly tripped over it, and shot. This is some intense music for this scene. To my amazement, the ball bounced on top of the hoop, landed on the rim, and then dropped through. "Way to go, Sam!" I heard Ellen shout from the sidelines. I think it works, though, the excitement. My teammates uttered weak cheers. I watched them go after the Jefferson players, yawning and moving in slow motion as if in some kind of trance. Pick it up, Ellen was shouting encouragement, but her words didn't seem to help. Judith tripped and fell to her knees. As I stared in bewilderment, she didn't get up. Anna was yawning loudly, walking toward the ball, not running. My 2 other Mustang teammates also seemed to be wandering hazily in slow motion, making lame attempts to defend our basket. Jefferson scored easily. Judith was still on her knees, her eyes half shut. What on earth is happening, I wondered. A long, shrill whistle broke into my thoughts. It took me a while to realize that Ellen had called time out. "Mustangs, hustle up," she shouted, motioning for us to cluster around her. I quickly trotted over to Ellen. Turning back, I saw Judith, Anna, and the others trudging over slowly, yawning, pulling their bodies with great effort. And as Ellen shouted for everyone to hustle up, I watched them wearily approach. Then I realized to my amazement that my wish had come true. Perfect timing on the music there. Chapter 11. "What is the matter, girls?" Ellen demanded as we huddled on the sidelines. She glanced from player to player, examining each one with concern. Anna dropped down wearily to the floor, her shoulders slumped. It looked like she could barely keep her eyes open. Judith leaned her back against the gym's tile wall. She was breathing hard, and beads of sweat rolled down her pale forehead. Let's get up some energy," Ellen urged, clapping her hands. "I thought you girls were pumped for this game." "There's no air in here," one of the players complained. "I feel so tired," another one said, yawning. "Maybe we're coming down with something," Anna suggested from down on the floor. "Do you feel sick too?" Ellen asked me. "No," I told her. "I feel okay." Behind me, Judith groaned wearily and tried to push herself away from the wall. The referee, a high school kid wearing a black and white striped shirt about 5 sizes too big for him, blew his whistle. He signaled for us to get back out on the floor. "I don't understand it," Ellen sighed, shaking her head. She helped pull Anna to her feet. "I don't understand it, I really don't." I understood it. I understood it perfectly. My wish had come true. I couldn't believe it. That strange woman really did have some kind of magical powers, and she had granted my wish. Only not quite the way I had imagined. I remembered my words so clearly. I had wished to be the strongest player on the basketball team. That meant I wanted the woman to make me a stronger, better player. Instead, she had made everyone else weaker. I was the same classy player I'd always been. I still couldn't dribble, pass, or shoot, but I was the strongest player on the team. How could I have been such a jerk? I scolded myself angrily as I trotted back to the center of the gym floor. Wishes never turn out the way you want them to. When I reached center court, I turned back and saw Judith, Anna, and the others trudging onto the floor. The shoulders were slumped and they dragged their sneakers over the floor as they walked. I have to admit I enjoyed it just a little. I I felt perfectly fine, and they looked so weak and pitiful. Judith and Anna really deserve it, I told myself. I tried not to grin as they slumped into their places. Whew. But maybe I was smiling just a little. The referee blew his whistle and called for a jump ball to start things off. Judith and the Jefferson player faced each other on the center circle. The referee tossed the ball up. The Jefferson girl jumped high. Judith made a real effort. I could see the strain on her face, but her feet didn't even leave the floor. The Jefferson player batted the ball to one of her teammates, and they landed down the floor with it. They headed down the floor with it. I chased after them, running at full speed, but the rest of my team could only walk. Jefferson scored with an easy layup. "Come on, Judith, we can catch them," I shouted, clapping my hands cheerfully. Judith glared dully at me. Her green eyes looked faded, kind of washed out. Oh my. I was really enjoying rubbing it in. No, I skipped ahead a little bit. Pick it up, let's go Mustangs, I cheered energetically. I was really enjoying rubbing it in. Judith could barely bounce the ball inbounds. I picked it up and dribbled all the way down the floor. Under the basket, one of the Jefferson players bumped me from behind as I tried to shoot. Two foul shots for me. It took my slow-motion teammates forever to make their way down the floor to line up. Of course, I missed both of my foul shots, but I didn't care. "Let's go, Mustangs," I shouted, clapping my hands energetically. "Defense, defense!" Suddenly, I had become both a player and a cheerleader. I was really enjoying being the best player on the team. Watching Judith and Anna droop around and drag their bodies back and forth like tired losers was the biggest hoot. It was just awesome. We lost the game by 24 points. Judith, Anna, and the others looked glad it was over. I started to trot to the locker room to get changed, a big smile on my face. I was nearly changed by the time my teammates had dragged into the locker room. Judith walked up to me and leaned against my locker. She eyed me suspiciously. "How come you're so peppy?" she demanded. I shrugged. "I don't know," I told her. "I feel okay, same as ever." Sweat was pouring down Judith's forehead. Her red hair was matted wetly against her forehead. "What's going on here, Bird?" she demanded, yawning. "I don't get it." "Maybe you're coming down with the flu or something," I said, trying to hide how much I was enjoying this. This was great. "Oh, I'm so tired," Anna moaned, coming up behind Judith. "I'm sure you'll both feel better tomorrow," I chirped. "There's something weird going on here," Judith murmured weakly. She tried to stare hard at me, but her eyes were too tired to focus. "See you tomorrow," I said brightly, picking up my stuff and heading out. "Feel better, guys?" I stopped outside the locker room door. "Oh!" "They will feel better tomorrow," I assured myself. "They'll be back to normal tomorrow. They won't stay like this, right? Right?" The next day, the bad news hit me like a ton of bricks. Yes, I do need some sleep. That's why I'm only reading 2 chapters tonight. So, I realize it's been very, very short tonight. But it did happen. We did have story time, so huzzah. Anyway, that's all for tonight, dear readers. Only 2 chapters tonight, because I am very tired and I'd like to get to bed. I was baking a cake, so sorry I was late. But anyway, cake's done. It's delicious. It's wonderful. So, that being said, yes, join the Facebook group Storytime. Like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Beepcorny1. And follow me on Twitch. Brett Doesn't Game, all one word. So, yeah, do all that. And good night, everyone. Until next time, I bid you adieu, adieu, adieu. Much love. Tomorrow we'll be reading Bram Stoker's Dracula at some point in the evening.